Hello and welcome to another episode of FinTech Focus TV. My name is Ian Bailey and I'm joined today by Saran Talasila from
Thank you.
Saran?
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Yeah, very good.
Good, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Look, as is tradition at the start of this, give us a bit of an introduction to yourself and to Exactly.
Of course. I'm Saran Talasila. I'm working as a payment specialist for the last 4 years.
Okay.
And we are a UK FCA regulated company.
Okay.
And we are into the payment processing of our online businesses.
Yep.
They are based within the UK and Europe. And we have a strong licenses from UK FCA, and also we are the principal members of Visa, MasterCard, and this allows us an acquirer, so we can offer a card processing solution. We can offer them alternative payment like Apple Pay, Google Pay, and we can offer them open banking, because these are the very good payment options that allows the customer to pay in a smoother ways and a quick forward. This is all about Exactly. Not only on that, level, we have a very good team in the UK, and also we have a very good offices around the global. So we are 100 plus employees, and we have our own tech team, we have our own legal, we have our own compliance. So everything is covered inside us. We are not looking on any third parties to make down our things. So that makes our life very easier. So we can offer the better way what we can put down to the customer what they're really looking into.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you. And Exactly, it sounds like there's a full suite of payment services in there.
Yes.
Who is it particular targeted? Who's your sort of target client?
So I can say that we definitely wanted to choose different businesses, not on a single vertical. We go with the e-commerce. We can go with travel companies. We can go with regulated forex brokers with our UK FCA regulated ones. We deal with SaaS products. We deal with all the online businesses where the payments are playing a crucial role. We are there. We are targeting every UK business. We are targeting every European businesses. So this is how we are covered so far.
Yeah, very good. And look, we're here at Pay 360. There are an enormous amount of businesses here, and some fascinating technology and some product offerings. Like, what is the sort of USP, if you like, with Exactly? Like, how are you different?
So every company has their own competition when they can see what are the core things that makes them very, very better compared to the competitors. On my level, I can see we are very strong with our tech. We are very strong with our commercials. We are very strong with our support team, because when I talk about the support team, we have a live customer support 24/7. That plays a vital role in any payments industry, because there are some PSPs, there are some payment gateways in the market that doesn't have a live customer support. A bot can do all their work for them, and I really don't recommend that kind of things to be happening in the financial sector, because in the financial sector we are dealing with the money. The money is very important. People are not ready to take down it. Money was debited from his account, and they don't want it to sit and wait unless they get the money. They want it immediately. They wanted to know where it gone. So this is why we are trying to get a 24 by live customer support. And I can see not only on this point, we can also talk about the commercial aspects. So when you see you wanted to running a business, a merchant is running a business, he wanted to cut down the cost as minimal to that. Of course. So this is where we got our licenses from Visa, MasterCard. It allows us to offer them whatever the tailored pricing they are looking for the business. So every business, they can come to us and they put down what are the challenges, what are the things they are looking on the table, and we wanted to evaluate the risk involved in the businesses, and based upon that, we can give them the tailored pricing model. It doesn't mean that, hey, you are paying £70 or 80 pounds a monthly fee. No, we don't have such. We have only a fee for our transactions that are happening. They're using. Not for a monthly fee. We like to have a setup fee. We don't charge that.
Very good. And you touched on it then. I mean, you're very well placed, I guess, out there speaking with the various different users. What are the kind of common challenges you're seeing?
Of course, in e-commerce industry, if you compare with from before COVID and after COVID, it was very, very differentiated.
Right.
Because, people nowadays, they wanted to spend anything, they think twice before they do. Because before COVID, there is something like, they're ready to spend, they're ready to go and make the things very simplified, and they're very happy with the payings, what they're getting into the salary, into their accounts. That's very fine. But now, the things has got many, many changes, because the inflation is hitting very, very hard. It is not with one single country, or it is everywhere in the global. It is the same situation. So when the customer wanted to buy some groceries, that doesn't matter. They can pay with their Apple Pay and Google Pay. But if they wanted to buy some big item that purchase, like an Apple phone, or they can buying an air ticket, they want a split payments, they want to pay laters, they wanted to know, the different ways of how they can pay the money. So for example, now take about the pay later option. So when I wanted to buy an iPhone, I think twice, it really matters because I'm spending £1,200 to buy an iPhone. And I wanted to think why can't I use a Klarna or a pay later option where I can pay in the steps, every month I can pay this amount. So these kind of options needed to be implemented, and every payment provider, they need to have this kind of options that customer can choose various options to pay. So the merchants are keen about offering a lot of payment options. Okay, it's not even a single because if you compare now in the market, you have a website where it has many payment options, and we have some website where we have only Visa, MasterCard. Right, you cannot choose a Visa, MasterCard every time. You may be looking for an Apple Pay to pay it very quicker, a Google Pay to make it more quicker, and you may be choosing a Klarna because you don't want it to pay all at sum of amount at once. So these are the main challenges every time merchants or a customer, they look after businesses.
Yeah, I understand. And I think we're sort of touching on it then, but the various different payment methods that they're out there, how does exactly sort of deal with those?
Of course, exactly, we're almost getting everything in one platform. Because there is an Apple Pay, there is a Google Pay, there is a European. If you go to the European market, they have every country, they have local payment methods. Now take MBWay, multi-bank for Portuguese market. If you wanted to go with some other market like Ideal, we have for Germany, so forth. We have this kind of payment options, so we need to bring everything under one single integration. So this is where exactly is trying hard to get many integrations. And when you ask us how you see customers really using this kind of payment options, yes, because if the customer is allowed to use a number of payment methods, yes, he can try to make the payment in the simplest way he can make it. Yeah. Because we cannot say that, hey, we are not offering you many payment options. You are allowed to only pay with Visa, MasterCard, and you need to remember your 16-digit card number every day. It is not the right way, because the customer, I wanted to know the simplest way. Yeah. Because if you now take an Apple Pay, how it differentiate from the traditional Visa, MasterCard, and what is an Apple Pay? It is very simple. You can choose an Apple Pay, and it can get you all the details from your billing information that you have previously saved in the Apple Pay or Apple accounts, and it makes your payment in 2 simple clicks. Just click on the Apple Pay, authenticate it, it's done. Yeah. When you wanted to make it with a Visa, MasterCard, or a card use, you need to fill out all the billing information, you need to enter card details, you need to authenticate, and you need to wait for your confirmation on the payment. And this is the steps. You need to cut down and you need to minimize all the steps. And even with one-click payments, it's very different, where you can make the payments in a super simplified manner, and also with saving cards. This functionality, the save cards, for example, you are using the same card every time on your purchase. You don't want it to enter all the 16 digits every time you go into the same website. You can save the card there, and you just wanted to enter your CVV, and it's done. You can authenticate the payment, and it's done. Yeah.
And I think probably building on top of that, we were talking off camera about open banking and what that's done.
Of course.
Things.
I see the open banking now in the UK, it is making a quite good impact because I don't say it's like, the customers are quite known to that one, but many merchants want
the amount of us that use open banking or make use of it without actually knowing we do.
Yes. Because why it is happening? Because there is a merchant need to make sure how to use an open banking.
Yeah.
For example, I'll tell you the case where I saw one of my clients using open banking and also using traditional Visa MasterCard. So he was like allowing a customer to pay with Apple Pay, Google Pay, or open banking. When a customer pay with Apple Pay, Google Pay, he's charging on a sum of amount, it is quite higher than open banking.
Okay.
Whereas open banking, he's charging a bit of lower price.
Yes.
Because why? With open banking, he's paying very little.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was not paying any kind of a Visa MasterCard fees on the top. He's just paying the bank fees.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you know what? It is a very, very, very simplified thing to use open banking than a Visa MasterCard. It gives instant notification of the payment.
Yeah.
It gives instant things where the money flow is going on.
Yeah.
All good.
Game changer.
Yeah, it's a completely game changer. So these points, it need to be in this level of for the customers to understand why we need to make with open banking. For example, today I'm on a HMRC website and I wanted to make the payment for my tax declarations. I need to pay more bills over there, and I don't want to use my Visa MasterCard. I can just select my bank account and pay. It's all done. So this open banking, I think it's, for example, I don't want to mention it this way. When I was in India, where we have this, India implemented one of the biggest payment method. It's called UPI. It's very, very popular in India. So when it was implemented, the customers got to know how to use it because they are offering some kind of cashbacks. They're offering some kind of a reward points. Now the customers know, I can pay with Visa MasterCard, but I pay with this one, I'm getting something better.
Yeah. And people are savvy now. People understand,
And you have a Visa credit card and you have Amex. You prefer to pay with Amex.
Yeah, get the points.
Because you get the points.
Yeah.
That's exactly what is when you see implementing a payment method, you need to make sure how to use it.
Yeah, and have the user in mind as well, right?
Yes,
the consumer
of course. The customer need to know how to use it. If you have an option and you are giving a benefit of using this method, customer can use it.
Yeah.
If it is the same, the customer will not.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of the things you're talking about there, and I think you'll be very well positioned, and I'd love to get your insight into what you see coming next, trends that you've seen in the market with users, and what's the future like?
I see it's like, the future is almost going in the payments is like as it is going for like next 100 years in your small pocket.
Right.
I'm pretty much sure that today I'm wearing this payments ring. I can pay with anywhere. Yeah. Okay, and I wanted to make my payment, and today I will remember the days where I have £100 in one card and I have 100 in another card, and I have no option to use my both card to pay a 200 bill. Yes, but now it is you're allowed to pay 100 from the one and 100 from the other. Yeah, this split payments is revolutionary, and there are 110 ways you can pay Apple Pay. I think it is a long time. I'm started forgetting my wallets back in my home, and I have all my payment options. I can pay and I can come back.
But phone or your
I can use my phone, or I can use my ring, I can wear watch, or I can do any kind of payment options that I can make because this kind of trends are quite good, and fintech industries are trying very hard to implement every possible option that making a customer.
Make it easy.
Yeah, very easier.
Yeah.
You see, long days we used to sign checks to bills.
Of course,
Yes, but nowadays, how many people are really using a check to get it done?
Well, I wouldn't.
How do you see it?
Seen a checkbook, it feels like in 20 years.
Definitely. And there are options like you can pay some of the biggest brands. You can pay even with your crypto.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much the ticket size. You just on a single click and you can pay it off. Yeah. You can buy a Boeing in a single click with your Bitcoin.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And I think, again, given your position in the market and you know the offerings that exactly you've got, I think obviously a subject very close to our heart is talent, and you know I think the greatest businesses in the world with the greatest products in the world, without the right people to drive it, you know, it's a different beast. Yeah. So I'm really interested to know your insight on not only how you attract the best talent in the market, but how you retain them.
Well, this is a very good point because we are always looking for new talents to join in our company. Yeah. We have different various roles in the company that can be from the tech side to a sales part. Yeah. You know, we are hiring every individual. We have set of ongoing things in the company that, you know, where internal training, they need to know all the procedures in the company, because when you're working for a financial company, you need to be very, very cautious. Each flow, how many departments are being involved, and you need to understand each department, what they're really doing all about. Okay, and this fintech industry, it is not a one single piece where, like, you know, you taste it and you say, oh, it is so sweet, or it's all, you know, they have a whole cake you need to know. Because that's the main important, because when you see each manager coming to working for the fintech industries, they're working from core banking side. Yeah. But even people, they wanted to get their career started, they can choose fintech industry, they can get their masters in fintech, and they know what is the payment product, how can you develop it, and you need to know what is the sale and how can we do it, the financial, what is the compliance. You know, what people, they really don't think like, you know, to try the compliance as the career path. It's a very good option, though. Yeah, they are paid high, they are getting a handful of salaries, of course. Yeah, I can see it's like, you know, with exactly, we have hiring going on LinkedIn. We have internal recruiting HR team where we are actively looking on our hunting the job and, you know, finding the right talent, interviewing them, putting them to training, and they have all the resources. They can learn everything about financial industries. And we are also trying to implement intern options where people can learn, come and learn, and they can good, they can be in our company and they can complete the probation period and they can prove themselves, you know, how good they are to the company, and they can be in the company. So
lots of multi-channel approach.
Of course, yes, it is.
So it's been fascinating to talk to Saran. Thank you very much for your time. Just as a final point, the business is Exactly. How do people find you?
Oh, of course, they can find us on our website. You know, we have www.exactly.com, and they can also find us on LinkedIn as Exactly.com, and they can reach me out there on events, or they can meet me every event. You know, today we are at P360, maybe tomorrow we are at the retail show.
You're out there.
We have the booths on everywhere, and they can meet us there.
Very good. Look, Saran, thanks so much for your time.
You too.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.